This is my usual method for leveling up a scope on a Picatinny rail. Fortunately, the bottom of the Pard DS35 saddle is flat. This lends itself, so 11 2p pieces in a stack, and that's the scope perfectly leveled on the Picatinny rail. That's with the mounts nipped up a little bit. So what I'll do now is slide these out and then just nip up the scope mount screws and get it secure.
This is the brand new Pard DS35. It's available in two models, 50mm or 70mm. This is the 70mm. That's not a 70mm objective lens, that's 70mm focal length of the objective lens. Just to confirm a few things, we have this fella sticking out here is the focus throw lever, and it only moves to about barely 90 degrees. We have a lens cap, but also within the lens cap, if you can see this opening and closing, this is for the Pard's very cool focus-free facility, so I'll be exploring that more. So yeah, the image through the DS35 is nice and crisp, whereas the image through the Pard, it is overcast today, rain clouds overhead. I can see blue sky and sun in the distance, but this is going to be a good test straight away of the DS35 in slightly low light conditions. And right now it's comparing very favourably with the 008S. It's quite a clear image. I've got both scopes set up to record in 3-minute blocks. I've just realised my only concern now is I hope my mobile phone is sufficiently waterproof for this shower.
You can see, hopefully, the 5 wind turbines on the horizon. They're 15 kilometres away or 9 miles away. So just like I did last week with this Pard WS LRF and with the HIKMICRO Alpex that was on the right hand side at the time, I'm going to observe the same objects, the same distant turbines, and some of the same foliage, green grass in the field and so on. Another direct comparison.
Quick image comparison here. You can see the Pard WS LRF on the left. Its LRF is measuring to the right of the reticle, whereas the new Pard DS35 on the right, its LRF is obviously measuring to the left of the reticle, which you can tell by the distances snapping from 200 to 300 meters down to about 130 or so. Now I direct both scopes up towards the horizon, and this wind turbine is about 9 miles or 15 kilometers away, and I just get the focus reasonably sharp, film for a few seconds. For these next 20 seconds or so, I zoom up the DS35 on the right and then the 008S on the left, get the focus right, and excuse the wobbling, and then zoom them back out in the same order, just so you can compare them. Here I'm just getting some footage of the distant sort of field beside the cliff edge, the slightly closer dual carriageway, and then looking to the left, further into the distance, we've got fields and cliffs, and then closer in we have a farm building here, a barn. And then as I pan around, I'm also arranging things, but as I pan around, I'm starting to see on playback that the hay bales are slightly stretched on the DS35's view. So the horizontal stretch ratio isn't quite perfect. And then looking at the same patch of green grass and some tractor ruts that I looked at previously with the 008S and Alpex comparison. And have you noticed this yet? If you look at the DS35 footage on the right, the grass in the field is in focus, and so are the rocks in the foreground. So as I then pan further left to a close-up building 20 odd meters away, I'm having to keep adjusting the focus on the Pard WS LRF, but not on the DS35. I was able to basically use the focus-free facility from 15 kilometers away down to 22 meters at this robin. Oh, and you can also see that the robin on the right-hand view, the DS35, is looking a little bit fat. So, yeah, there's a slight horizontal distortion there. Here I've spun around and I'm recording a wall 4 meters behind me and behind the scopes, and you can see I've learned from this that there's a tiny bit of distortion, imperfection if you like, in the screen ratio of, I believe, the DS35, just because these two pieces of wood are not quite the same angle. But I've got this measured by the rangefinder at 4 meters and focused down to within that 4 meters in daylight. Thanks again to friendly night vision and thermal guru Bruce here for his time and his knowledge. And of course, Bruce is Phoenix on the UK Night Vision Forum, link in description below, and he's Mealy Jimmy on the Airgun Forum. See you all there. Bruce, so you're looking through the HIKMICRO Alpex A50T, the Pard DS35, which is brand new, hot off the presses, and the Pard AAS LRF. Looking at the same objects across the street. We haven't got all three scopes precisely aligned, but they are looking roughly at the same thing.
Looking close enough at the same thing for it to be a realistic. Now, the first thing you got to understand is they're all different magnifications.
Yes.
The Hike is the lowest at 3.7.
Well, if you put that up to 2, if you twist the turret and put it on 2 times mag, then it'll be on 7 times zoom. You know, as near as we're going to get close to the Pards.
The new DS35 is times 5.6. What button do I push to get up to 11.2? Is it?
It's to rotate the turret, I think.
Ah, okay, that's me in 11.2 now. Yeah, okay. Ah, okay. Just keep rotating the turret clockwise to change from 5.6 to 11.2 and then back to 5.6 again.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm going to start by keeping them all in their base magnification. Just as my first impressions is that they're all producing very nice, sharp images. The differences in colour balance.
Yeah.
The DS is brightest of the 3 by some way.
Right.
The Hike and the old Pard, I'm going to call the old Pard, are pretty similar in terms of brightness, although because the old Pard has got higher magnification, the field of view is less, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to move it to look at a bit more of that.
So have you got the Alpex on low mag at the moment?
Initially I just want to see what they're like, because obviously as soon as you increase the magnification, you're going to reduce the sharpness of the image. Yeah. Because you're going to get pixelation. I must admit, my first impressions of the Pard, that round display just feels natural, although. Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good. Let me put the Hike up to times 2,
which is 7 times mag.
Which is 7 times mag.
Which is as close as we're going to get it to the base mag of the two Pard scopes.
And the front button in the Pard.
Yeah. Just take it from 6.5 to 13.
Okay. Our old test about resolving the holes in the air brick.
Yeah.
Hike can't do it because it's too low a base magnification.
Right.
And I'm up at times 2 digital, and if I go to times 4 it won't be any better because it's not giving me any more detail. But the DS35, I can clearly see the holes very nicely. Okay. No issues at all. And with the old Pard I can see the holes clearly as well. Although, to be truthful with you, on the old Pard there's a little bit of, I'm going to call it shimmer, a little bit of noise in the image. A little bit of digital shimmer, you mean? Yeah, there's a little bit of digital shimmer on where you've got black, white, black, white, black, white. Yeah. Where you can see the holes in the air brick and the bit between them. Yeah. There's a little bit of shimmer there. I'm not seeing that in the DS35. I'm seeing a more, although it's a slightly lower magnification, it's like 11.2 against 13. Yep. The image is smoother. Yeah, the image on the new DS, the DS is definitely smoother than with the old Pard and with the Hik. Definitely. So out of the 3, the DS35 is the best image.
Right. Okay. In these conditions.
In these conditions. Yeah.
Which is basically winter daylight.
Yeah.
There's a few rain showers around, so it's a little bit overcast on and off. And the garage door with the naked eye is a bit gloomier than it's looking with the phone.
And then if I look through the screen of the Pard DS35 in daylight mode,
with the lens cap open this
with
time.
the lens cap open, I mean, it's not focused, but you can see how bright that is. That's bright sunlight.
Aye. Well, let me close the lens cap.
Okay.
Right, but with the hole in the lens cap open.
Yep.
You can see it's quite grainy.
It's a bit grainy and speckly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now when I open the lens cap.
Yeah.
Now all of the light is coming into the scope now.
Yeah. I mean, it's out of focus, but you're getting
It's actually near to focus that much.
No, with my mobile phone.
Oh, your mobile phone is.
So we've got the light off in the man cave. Looking at the garage door, it's a little bit gloomier with the naked eye than it is on the phone. Here's Bruce. So what were your conclusions there, Bruce?
Well, with the Alpex and the DS35 side by side, the image on the Pard is much brighter and to me less noisy than the image on the Alpex. The Alpex, I would say they're both. If you look at the scale and the tape on both scopes, you can read down to a millimetre.
Yeah. Okay? And this is at 5 metres.
At 5 metres. But there is more background graininess and noise in the Alpex image than there is on the Pard image. Looking at the two images, the Pard is a nicer image.
Yeah, and we're recording simultaneously with both, so we can pop both images on the screen.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm not knocking the HIK. I could read that tape measure. If I was making field of view measurements, I could do it. But I would just be...
Just a direct comparison.
Yeah. I just...
The Pard is a little bit clearer and a little bit brighter.
Pard is brighter.
And both scopes...
Sharper.
Yeah, and
sharper? Yeah, I think it is. It's a nicer looking image. It's an easier, more comfortable image to look at.
Yeah, and just to clarify, viewers, if this ends up in the video, both scopes have been left on the default settings that they arrived on.
Yeah, we haven't played with the brightness, contrast, exposure,
no.
anything like that.
No.
I don't want to do that. With the lens cap closed, we could see stuff, and I'll close the lens cap now.
So this is lens cap closed on the DS35, but the aperture's open.
Yeah, but the image is very grainy now. There's no way you could read the tape measure to the nearest millimetre. You can barely read the numbers. You know, the 1 centimetre numbers.
Right.
But when I open the lens cap, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Now the whole of the lens is being used to admit light to the sensor.
Yeah.
And the sensor's now working the way that it should, and the image is just first class. First class. I'm really impressed with that.
Excellent.
You know, we said earlier on we liked a lot of the features in the scope, but obviously the image was going to be the ultimate test. Well, the daytime image for me clearly passes the test. It's an excellent image.
Yeah.
That only leaves us to look at the IR, the nighttime image.
Yeah.
And if the NV image is as good as this, then it's going to be a cracking back hit. You said it was ranging down to this 4 metres as well.
Oh yeah, if you press the rangefinder it'll range it. The rearmost button is one big button.
Oh, it is now, yeah, I see it. I can just see it flashing.
Before you do anything else, those rear buttons, press the front left button and that should put it into night vision mode, and then you'll see the LRF splash more clearly. That should pop it into night vision mode.
That's it, me in night vision. Oh, you can see the laser blaring in it. I could actually see the laser without being in night vision mode.
Yes, and that's how we ascertained it was a slim, skinny, horizontal laser splash.
If you look at it now, it's a much broader, more blurred laser flash. But we're only at 4 metres.
Yeah, can I have a quick look?
Of course.
Because I hadn't looked at the LRF splash yet in night vision mode.
It's not going to look like that at 40 metres or further out.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a nice... It's not a big sloppy LRF splash like the Pard VCSEL LRF. So one more test we had to do was pop the rubber eyecup back on the rear of the new Pard DS35, and it's perfect, isn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, it's absolutely spot on. I mean,
so
my eye is actually just touching the rubber of the eyecup.
You're not compressing it.
I'm
you're
not
just touching
compressing
it.
I'm just touching it. So basically, my face is blocking out any light coming all the way back up through the display.
Yeah, so if I was shooting with this, the rats wouldn't see me with any face illumination.
And I'm seeing all of the screen and a little bit beyond that, circular.
A little bit of the inside of the eyeball.
That's a very comfortable viewing position. It really is.
So for once, with this scope, I would not be taking the eyecup off or folding it back.
Absolutely.
As I do on this one over here. And you've got to come back a bit on that, don't you?
Got to come back a bit on that, yeah.
Now this does come. The Alpex does come with an eyecup as well.
Yeah, but yeah. I don't feel the need, as you say, to take the eyecup off.
Just to be absolutely fair and impartial, the Pard DS35 didn't have it all its own way. We preferred the image in bright sunlight, which is also the only time you would use the adjustable aperture, and in low light. But when it gets really, really dark, sort of near dark, the last minute or before it's really pitch black, Bruce found quite by accident that the Alpex was the brighter of the two images. His two images, stills that Bruce took on both scopes as it approached near darkness, and you can see that the Alpex is brighter, so it's more sensitive in especially dark conditions. And of course, once it gets completely pitch black, both scopes have to go into night vision mode and you need to use the IR illuminators. We met up a couple of hours later on one of my permissions overlooking some almost pitch dark paddocks and some rabbits, with the Pard DS35-70RF on the right and the HIKMICRO Alpex A50T on the left.
That's my IR background.
Oh, yes. So that rabbit is...
92 I'm getting off of that.
I'm getting 83, which is the same, isn't it?
I'm 92 yards.
Yeah, well I'm 83 metres, so that's the same.
Okay, that's good then.
The two views are not perfectly synced, but they're not far off. Through the HIK, I can see the Pard's LRF splash flashing away on the left hand of the three rabbits.
Okay.
So a quick test. Okay, so zoom in on the clockwise on the Pard, takes us to 11 mag. Clockwise again takes us back. And the zoom on the Alpex, left knob up to 4. Back to 2, and well, the Alpex definitely has an advantage in that the
field of view's a lot wider.
Field of view's wider at 1 mag, 1 times, which is 3.5 mag. Oh.
And the Pard is actually giving up a lot of field of view to get that zero shift adjustment feature.
Yeah.
A lot of field of view.
Yeah. You have a look through both right now.
Right, so I want to do
through the Pard first, because you'll see all three rabbits.
Oh, I see me laser. I can see 2.
And if you mosey it around a little bit, maybe the top ones, the ones top left. Or look through the Alpex and you'll see all 3. The Alpex is lower mag.
Yeah. Okay, the Alpex looks good now.
Yeah. At lower mag it's good.
That's nice.
So that's with its IR on full.
Oh, I've got all 3. I've got all 3 on the Pard now.
Right. Would it help if I turn at the Alpex? Is that helping at all?
No, it's that.
Oh.
Come back up. That's fine.
Right.
With the Alpex, just defocus so that you kind of see the bars.
Yeah.
You're not quite filling the field of view
right.
with illumination. You've got dark patches on the boot. But with the Pard, you are filling the field of view because the field of view is much smaller.
Yeah.
I've got to say, that's a nice image on the Pard.
Yeah. They both look pretty good actually.
And even up at 11.
How's the focusing on the Pard? Is it okay?
Aye.
I didn't really touch the focus on that.
Aye, I've got a really sharp, seen a lot of detail. Now that rabbit's our best part 100 yards away.
Yeah.
Let me see the heck now. Aye, the heck. Okay, so the heck on time 2 is pretty close to the Pard on times 1.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 5.6 as opposed to 7. So they're only out by 1.4 mag. Pretty close.
I would say at this moment on times 2 with the heck. I'm just looking at a single rabbit. I've got a totally illuminated field of view. Arguably the heck is slightly better.
Okay.
Not much in it though. Right. Slightly better.
Right.
Perfectly usable, shootable images.
Yeah. And
when I go up on that's up at 11, and if I put the heck up
times 4 would be 14.
There's a lot more image noise on the heck at times 4. A lot more digital image noise.
Right.
Than
14,
there is.
Yeah. 4, which is 14.
Yeah, because you've got 4 times digital zoom, but with the Pard you're only doing 2 times digital zoom, so there's no the same level of noise.
Yeah.
Fix a pip again.
2 top tourists, 2 quick presses.
Ah, yes. Okay, it gets a bit, it's pixelated, but Jesus, I could shoot that rabbit in the eye, no bother at all.
Yeah. So is that the Pard on base mag?
Now I'm now looking at that rabbit at times 22.
Right. So that rabbit at 11 times on the Pard. Oh, it just turned side on, it's perfect. And same rabbit. Yeah, it's a bit grainy at 14 times. Well, that rabbit's clear as day.
Aye.
And this tripod's so steady when I'm not leaning on it that...
And this is just using the HIK illuminator.
Yes.
We haven't even tried the Pard illuminator yet.
Next we need to try the Pard illuminator. I've got the Pard VCSEL on level 1.
Okay. How's that look?
And it looks nice and clear. And it's, if I go to 2 and 3, it doesn't blow out the Alpex.
That's good.
The Alpex is fine with the Pard IR, it just adjusts like a Pard would.
It's like shutting, it's like cutting itself down,
yeah.
Exposure thing. Good. Okay, and it should still be filling the field.
Oh yeah, it's filling the field of view on both scopes.
Okay, that's good.
I hope that's all that's been interesting. So by this point we were both achy and quite cold, so we called it a night. But just before we did, excuse the lack of focus on this next little bit, but I had my Ludicrous Lumens Night Saber Wraith VCSEL IR illuminator, which is 940 nanometers. So without aligning it and focusing it, we were able to just point it down range, 130 odd meters away, and straight away you can tell that the Pard DS35-70RF is going to work fine with 940 nanometers, which is all we really wanted to know before we called it a night. Coming right now, I had some inquiries from folk on the Airgun forum. Someone was asking me, will the DS35's illuminator be good to 200 meters plus? So I think you'll see that answered right now. And let's just start at closer range, black and white mode. Right, so refocus slightly. Okay, and what range are we at? 77 meters, and distance up to the brow of the hill there. I'm not going to have a great return on the laser off the snow, which isn't really surprising. But certainly over 300 meters. So let's switch off LRF. Here I pop on the IR illuminator, concentrate it so you see the grid pattern of the VCSELs, and this is so I can get the alignment, and then once I've done that I then back off to spread the beam and fill the screen. It's obviously a little bit to the left, so let's just turn this round and adjust it. I just corrected the worst of the alignment here because my fingers were getting very cold indeed. The zoom check. Right, back down to base mag. That's the IR on level 1. And we're looking at 37 meters. So IR, I've adjusted it a little bit too far. So let's, whoops, pull it back a bit. There we go. So that's the IR level 1 still at 50 meters. And a bit further, focus, 300 meters, 400 meters. Now check the IR on level 2, then level 3, not much difference there, which I didn't expect, and then IR off. So IR on 1, the beam is reasonably focused, it's centered-ish, it's a little bit off to the right, but that's 400 meters on the onboard IR, and if I focus it down a bit further, you can see the shape of the VCSELs. I'll back it off a little bit. 400 meters
no problem at all. Excellent. I hope this answers your questions, guys, for the prospective purchases of the Pard DS35. This is the 70mm focal length LRF version, and that's the Pard's onboard VCSEL IR level 1 out to 400 meters. Pop it up, brighter, slightly brighter still.
Although obviously my alignment of the IR emitters is slightly off to the right here, I'm just masking a few seconds so you can see the scope view.
Switch it off just so I can see where the IR is focusing to. Those trees maybe? 500 meters. Okay, the trees are 500 meters away, and you can see them quite clearly.
I hope that was interesting and answers all your questions, or most of them anyway. My remaining footage of the Pard DS35, which I've already returned to Sportsman Gun Centre. Thanks again to Abu and his team there, by the way, for the loan of this. My upcoming footage now is going to be a pest control bonanza, basically ratting a couple of different permissions, and it's going to be a compilation. So following on from my YouTube channel's viewers poll, I'm going to make the pest control footage masked, so you see the scope's eye view, if you like, the shooter's view. Lots more to come, as you can see. Thanks very much for watching. Take care all, and happy shooting. Cheers.